everybody, I'm Isaiah and welcome back to my topic channel. So today I'm going to show you guys my Nintendo collection, everything that I have that's Nintendo related, video games, memorabilia, collectibles, all that. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first things I'm going to show you are the oldest systems I have, which are the Game Boy. So here is my red Game Boy Color, my pinkish clarish Game Boy Advance, and my special edition NES Game Boy Advance SP. So those were all my those were the Game Boy consoles I have. I will, at the end of the video, I will go and tell you like all my favorite games for the consoles that I have. Okay, let's go up a few years to in 2016 when Nintendo released the NES Classic Edition. This is not one of the original ones they did. This was the when they re-released them in 2018. I got one off their hands. It has 30 built-in games. If you want more information on it, check out my review on this. So, and it also came with a poster, so here's the poster now. Okay, let's go up to 2017 when they released the Nintendo Switch. I have the neon red and neon blue Joy-Cons on it. Awesome console, handheld and home console in one, and this is amazing. So then also in 2017 Nintendo released the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. What's really cool is that they put this cover, so instead of these just showing, they have like the original ports. Of course, the original controllers won't work on it. It comes with 2 controllers instead of 1. That's probably why it was $20 more. And it also came with the poster, and here it is. So those were all the consoles that I did have. So now I'm gonna run down my favorite games for all the titles. So for the original Game Boy, you cannot go wrong with these. Like, you have to have these. You need to have Tetris and Super Mario Land in your collection when you're buying a Game Boy. You gotta get Tetris and Super Mario Land. 2 great titles for the system. Still need to get this second one of that. And other than that, I have a couple. I have 3 titles that are absolutely great. Of course, one of them is Pac-Man, Kirby's Pinball Land, just a fun time waster, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Follow the Foot Clan. Hard game, but really fun. So those were some of my favorite games for the original Game Boy. For Game Boy Color, I have 2 of them that are my personal favorites, which is one black cartridge, Looney Tunes. Fun time waster, fun side-scrolling action. But then another version of Tetris. This is a Magical Tetris Challenge. It's much faster than the original Tetris. So those are my favorite games for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. For Game Boy Advance, I have 4 titles, technically, to show you. The first one is Nude, a very cool puzzle game and a very fun one to play. So if you have a Game Boy Advance or are thinking of picking one up, you definitely should pick up Snood for it. Next is the first Mario Kart on a handheld Mario Kart Super Circuit. This is a fun game, and the controls work better on the SP than the regular Advance. Then the last games I have is a Crash Bandicoot Purple and Spyro Orange on 1 cartridge. It's called the Crash and Spyro Super Pack. So those are my favorite games for the Game Boy Advance. For the NES, I'm just gonna list them because I don't have physical cartridges to show you. But here are just my top 5. Super Mario Bros. The original Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Donkey Kong Jr., Pac-Man, and Super Mario Brothers 2. Those games are like really fun, great classic games, and you can never go wrong with retro games, because without the retro games, we probably wouldn't even have video games to begin with. So those are my favorite games for the NES. For the Nintendo Switch, I have 5 absolute favorite titles. Probably my absolute favorite title has to be Super Mario Odyssey. A very good platformer, Mario. It was Mario's leap into the Nintendo Switch. It was Mario's hyped up game for 2017. So Super Mario Odyssey, cannot go wrong with it. Next is gonna feel like a weird one, but it is Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. I grew up on the Marvel games, always have. But these always have a good place in my heart, so these are really good games. Now you probably have to know that this is on the list. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably one of my favorite Switch games, and it was my introduction into Mario Kart 8, and it's probably better, and it's better than the original because you can take it on the go and you can play it on your TV. And the last 2 games are probably some of the newest games I picked out. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, a great way back into the Smash Bros. Series. And New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Now, a lot of people have been criticizing this game. If you love Mario side-scrollers, pick this up. You will not regret it. So those were some of my favorite Switch games. And finally, for the SNES Classic, the Super Nintendo, my top 5 favorite games for it are Super Mario Land, Donkey Kong Country, Mega Man X, Contra 3, and Kirby Super, and the Kirby game on it. I couldn't pick which Kirby game, so I just put both of them on there. So those were all my favorite titles for all the consoles I have. Okay, now I'm gonna go through my collectibles that I have for Nintendo and how just the collectibles that I have for my Nintendo stuff. So probably the first is this NES controller, Mint. It was a had mints inside of it, but it's like the NES controller, but I don't know why it has Nintendo Power logo on it, but pretty cool. Next, I have a Super Mario Brothers cartridge canteen. This is the box that it came with. It looks like an actual NES box from the 80s. And then here we have here's the cartridge itself. It looks like a physical cartridge. If you can actually fool your friends with this, like unless they pick it up and look at the bottom. Feel like hollow. And it came with the cartridge holder, and when you put it in, it looks, and it's just like so nostalgic. So that was pretty cool. Then to hold all my Game Boy games, you've seen this so many times. It's the binder. And to kick my Switch around, I have a Super Mario Odyssey case. It's like one of the heavy duty cases. But I'm trying to get like a smaller one to go into the next item. This third-party Nintendo Switch backpack. This is the backpack that you can put the Switch in. It's supposed to hold everything, but you're gonna have to figure out how it can hold everything when you're going into if you're taking it to your friends. But I recommend it if you want to take it and hand download and a couple other things. But if you want to take the entire dock and everything, get the Nintendo version. You won't regret that. So now I'm going to be showing you guys some extra stuff that goes into that like goes with the consoles and everything. So none for Game Boy, so I'm just gonna go with the NES and the SNES. Of course, they the NES Classic comes with one controller, and it looks exactly the same as the one. The only problem is the cord is extremely short. Fit it into the entire camera frame. But a third party called My Arcade, they made an extension for it, and it's like extremely long now. So this part you plug the controller into, and now it's like probably as long as the one back in the 80s, and it will work with the SNES controller. Speaking of which, this is the SNES controller, one of the best controllers of all time, and the cord is a little longer, but not too much, but the extension will work with it. And first one to have shoulder buttons. And also one of my favorite games on it is Super Mario Kart. So then for the Nintendo Switch, if you wanted to use it, you could use a Joy-Con grip that it just puts that you can put both the Joy-Con into. But of course, Nintendo, like they did with the Wii U, they released a Pro Controller, and this is probably one of my favorite controllers I have ever used. It is amazing for 3D games. This is probably one of the best controllers I ever used, and it's the cool Mario and Luigi faceplate one. So you get the Luigi faceplate and the Mario faceplate. So those are like all the collectibles and like extra stuff I had for each console. So now I'm gonna be showing you guys some shirts and like other collectibles I have. So first, here is this Super Mario World shirt. Pretty nice and awesome. But then I have this cool NES one that has the NES controller on it. There are a couple other versions, but that was the one I picked up. And next is another Super Nintendo one. It has all the characters from Super Mario Kart on it. I would have, this shirt's black, but I think it would have been cooler if it was blue, so it can kind of represent like the actual cartridge in like the sky instead of a dark. Oh, and then I have a Mario Kart 8 strategy guide. Forgot to show this off, so I'm glad I remembered. I have, you've seen this a lot, this awesome Game Boy watch. Came with the stand. I have a lot of socks of Nintendo. Like, I have these Mario ones, these Luigi ones, which are technically the same thing as the Mario ones, and these all came with in a 3-pack with the Star ones. So all of these came in a 3-pack. And then next, I got these cool Odyssey socks and these awesome Toad socks. So that was all like my other extra stuff and collectibles. Okay guys, so that was my entire Nintendo collection. It's not that big. I haven't been collecting that long, but I have been a fan for a while. This is a picture of me when I was 5 years old, and I've received my very first console, the DSi. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, because in my opinion, you always need topics in your life. And so until I see you guys again, peace to the O, to the U, to the T. Peace out, guys.